I will give you $10 right now if you just change yourself.
I'll put it in my butt.
I'm not doing it again.
Bruh, you're such a nerd.
Guys, yeah, literally.
Because you said it too late. Let's clap when it counts down to 1. Hits 1. Oh yeah. Got
You
it.
said it too late.
Did it. I did
Dev,
it.
over here.
Hi everyone. We're dumb.
Cherry lifesaver.
Actually, it's orange.
Wait, hold that up again. That looked red.
It does look red on camera.
Okay, I was
but
about to
it's
say,
orange.
Dev, what color is that? Hold it up again. What color is this?
It looks red.
It does look red. It does look red. I will give it to you on
Let me
camera.
say,
It looks red.
This Febreze looks red.
No, that looks orange.
I was looking for some.
Let's see how
kind
it
of
looks
snack,
outside the package.
but I don't have any snack nearby. Oh, I do have a nice surprise.
I can
for
see
you,
the
though.
orange kind of now.
Yeah.
I don't have a snack, but I have something else that'll be shockingly surprising.
Okay. Please, I will give you $10 right now if you just change yourself.
I'll double it. I don't believe that.
We have to see it. We have to see it on the arm.
See it. Do it on the arm.
I'm not doing it again.
I don't believe you. I'm sorry. It was off screen. I couldn't tell you actually did it.
On the tongue. On the tongue.
Ben.
Taste your tongue right now. I'll give you $20.
I'll triple it. Just kidding. I don't have that money.
I'll put it in my butt.
I will give you 1,000.
No.
That'll
once
be
it's
the
good.
first OnlyFans video.
I'm awake now.
Dev tasting his butt. I don't know if I believe that you taste
That was
yourself.
a
I
tiny-
couldn't see it.
Well, okay, this is the thing that sucks about this one. So this taser, I got it from my wife originally, but this taser, so the prongs are a little sharp, but also if someone like were to try to grab it and be like, "Hiya!" This part shocks you as well. So I literally I don't even have to like do this. I can just kind of and it. Ooh, it hurts. That spot actually kind of still hurt. Oh, yep, it turned red.
Oh wait, show on the camera.
Yeah, show the mark. Show the mark.
Show the marks.
Underwear. I'm in my underwear. I can't.
That's like I don't know why the Kermit the Frog
Hey,
video
you
keeps
can edit
showing
this part out. It's fine. Show the
This
mark.
This ain't OnlyFans, people.
up. Dev's over here like, I have something for you.
I have something for you. I don't know if it'll really show up, but I mean it's kind of red. Hold on.
Taylor calling the bluff. Ben,
Hold on.
happy to be here.
It's like right there-ish. I don't know if you can really see it.
You're on a phone, dude.
It's kind of red.
I
I
believe
don't
him.
see red.
It's like right here-ish.
I believe you.
I'm not doing it again. Not again. I am very awake now, though. That's one way to wake yourself up.
Okay, that's a perfect segue into our topic.
Me almost tasing myself in the... Never mind.
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
self-harm. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
So,
boy.
self-defense, things like that.
Okay.
I want to hear, we do a story time, right? Let's relax. It's almost Christmas.
I
What?
haven't had Thanksgiving yet.
Thanksgiving is just halftime for Christmas. Let's be real.
You shut your
I mean,
not family-friendly words mouth.
like,
Thanksgiving is amazing.
it kind of
Okay,
is.
Thanksgiving is the holiday of drama. Because that's the one you're with extended family most of the time. And it's just dramatic.
All right, so we're continuing this without Ben.
Oh, I forget you can just like add this now whenever.
I
has too much
see.
power.
That's why my title's the All-Powerful.
He has too much power. Ben, we created a monster.
You're a monster. What color is this one, Ben?
Well, it's the pineapple one, right? It's like a light yellow.
Or is it just a regular mint? I couldn't tell. It was just very white.
It's pina colada.
Yeah, pineapple.
That pina colada's coconut.
Pina colada.
Okay, anyway. So, the stories that we're going to share is... What is the most, like, paranoid... We're talking about paranoid experiences. You've been at home, you think someone's in the house, you're walking on the street, you just feel paranoid.
Oh, like that irrational paranoia that just hits you at like random times
Just
sometimes.
randomly.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay.
But
Do you guys remember our 10th episode? We did a scary special.
yes,
Just for funsies.
Yes. That was
Now-
we gotta do it
scary
again.
stories, right?
I was prepping. So the Saturday before we recorded that was a dance at the school I was working at.
Oh, dude,
And this is a high
schools.
school, so it went till like
Oh.
11.
I know where this is going.
And so the school was dead empty except for the gym, which is on the opposite side of the building from the office, the custodial office where I was hanging out.
Yeah.
So I did my scary story prep in there, and while reading some of these stories on Reddit, a broom in the back storage area just fell over. Bro, I jumped so high, and for the next like 30 minutes, I was just like walking around the back room, like turning every light on. Hello?
Oh, dude.
Who's back here? There was no one there. I guess the broom just fell
Oh.
over, but
Dude, yeah, I've had that happen before. I had one. It wasn't a sound, but I actually got like whapped by something the other day at work. So I was coming through one of our southern entryways because I was doing the security check, and sometimes we have these metal frames around all the doors, folks. You know, so
Yeah.
big metal frame. When it heats up or when it gets really cold, you know, metal shrinks and or expands.
Naturally.
So we have this. There's like these little. I don't really know what they're called, but they're like a little divider piece that has like. It's like a door trim piece, kind of, and it has like these little black fuzzy things on it, and it's just meant to like make the door shut quieter.
mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes if it gets cold enough, I've learned, if you're not careful, that little metal piece will come out about that far and just be like, boing! It did that right as I was coming through the door, so I opened the door and something whaps the side of my leg, and I was like, ah! Oh. Oh. And I was paranoid the rest of the night. I was like, man, I feel like I'm gonna like hurt myself tonight for some reason.
There we go. My story. So I was a religious volunteer in California, and
Okay.
I was in charge of a meeting for a group of the other volunteers in this church building, and we've had a problem with this homeless guy kind of sleeping on the property and leaving a bunch of garbage and women's underwear everywhere. True story.
Okay.
And one of the members of the congregation was like, oh, hey, yeah, that's my son. We've cut him off, but somehow he found out where we were. Careful, he's very violent, so call the police when you see him. And that was just the outside of the building. So it was, I believe it was Christmas or Halloween, because this meeting, and we were cleaning up, I organized an activity, and in this big church building, there's kind of like, there's a main gym and hallways all around, and they motion activated lights. Inside, one of the lights turns on, and people are like freaking out. They're like, oh, like, we saw someone. I'm like, okay, whatever. And it was just me and this other guy. We were the only ones in the building. And I'm like, there's not someone in here. Those lights just turn on. And I go back to the hallway, and it kind of smelled like BO just a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay. And one of the doors is open. I open the door, and the smell of like weed hits me like a train. And I'm like, oh crap. Like, I think someone's in this building with us. So I go to the kitchen, and I have this knife, like this big kitchen knife. And yeah, we had to do a sweep of the building. I don't know why we didn't just call the police. But anyway, part of like the accountability system is we did like, you check in at the end of the night with other volunteers, make sure everyone's doing okay. And we were on a FaceTime, and I said, I have to do this. So here I have my phone, and I have the knife, and it looks like I'm recording me going door to door. So it looks like I'm in like this first person game, because they can only see my hand and the knife. And I'm kicking open every door and like going like, okay, doesn't smell like weed, next door. And I was so paranoid because the lights turned off super quick after being motion activated. So I go into a room, and then all the lights would go off from the building. And
Jeez.
there was no one, to my knowledge. I probably walked like right past this dude with a knife, and he's like against the wall, like, don't breathe. But
Meanwhile, there's Taylor off in like a dark corner going. That's
wait,
funny. That's
what
way
if
funny.
I was the bad guy in that scenario?
Oh my gosh.
Might
That
have
would
been.
be so crazy.
But speaking of automatic sensors, that's why I hate toilets with movement sensors on them. There's nothing creepier than when you're at a urinal and the one next to you flushes and there's no one there. You're like, is the ghost taking a pee-pee?
It's that
Oh,
same ghost
no.
looking at you.
Going,
GGB.
ooh, I like your pee-pee. Like, no, I don't want to know. Probably a
I have a-
different ghost with my luck. It'd be a
I have a good urinal story. It's not paranoia.
Oh, no.
Sure.
I was using the urinal at this building. Unbeknownst to me, on the other side of the building, the plumbing was broken. And so they were fixing all the piping, and the water pressure was maxed out because they had to find the leak. And no one was supposed to be in the building. I use the urinal, and I flush, and it goes... explodes everywhere. Like, I'm talking water up my nose and my eyes, and I'm just like explosion, and I'm like,
No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
actually, not the same building. I was like, same building with the homeless guy. No, different building, but
No, no, no.
That's horrible.
Hey, flush.
it legit was like, I'm sure my eyelids rolled up as all the water just.
You're like,
Because naturally, when you're urinating, you're looking down, making sure everything's okay. It's just
I just picture you out in the parking lot and you're wringing out your eyelids like,
like,
Oh.
please.
like, oh, that one was a little yellow. No.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you poor soul. That sucks. That really sucks.
It's funny.
You poor soul.
That's funny. Unfortunate, but very funny.
Unfortunate.
Oh,
I remember a time I was like in 4th grade. I lived in the basement, and my window in the room didn't have any curtains, but it was tucked in this corner of the house, so no one knows that window exists unless you break into the yard and you look through that window. My bed was right there. But I was reading this book, and in this book there was this like creature these kids were looking for that's equivalent to an actual like Tasmanian devil, essentially. Like the Tasmanian tiger. My bad, not devil.
Okay,
Yeah. Tasmanian tiger, kind of that thing. Reading the book, they never found it, but at the end of the book, there's like a footprint, and they were like, only we have the secrets. We can't tell anyone it's real. But I remember being so paranoid, thinking that creature was looking through that window, trying to find me. I couldn't sleep. I sat there crying in my bed, just like, because I was afraid to move, because if I moved, the monster would see me. And so my brother is a room behind me, and I'd like tap on the wall, and I'd just be like, help. And
I have
tap
a
on the
paranoid
wall.
story I can tell you.
Do it.
Now this one's about my mom and one or two of her
But
sisters. So
your
if
mom
any of you
paranoid?
guys see this and I am mistelling the story because I was told the story like 8 or 9 years ago, please correct me. But it's really funny. So Ben, you knew Grandpa a little bit.
Yeah.
Before he passed.
Rest in peace.
A lovely man. Also, an irrational prankster. He gives his daughters this whole speech about peeping toms, close your windows when you guys are changing and stuff, all of this stuff, general safety for young women. Yeah.
Fair enough.
And then that night they leave their curtains open.
Oh no.
And so what does Grandpa do?
Teaches
Grandpa
them a lesson.
gets a few pillowcases, maybe like a potato sack or something, and basically makes this person-looking thing. and puts
That's
it
just
sticking, looking
mean.
like it's looking down the window well through the window. And he comes in to tell his daughters good night, and he starts to say good night and all this, and then his eyes get really wide. And they're like, what? And he just kind of shakes his head and subtly points at the window. And these two see it and start freaking out and screaming, and he goes, shh, and he sneaks upstairs, leaving them down in the room just panicking, utterly and completely panicking. He gets his shotgun
No.
and he shoots the dummy.
Dude, I wish I could have met your grandpa. That is a G move right there. Oh my
And it
goodness.
explodes in like hay and feathers, and then he knocks on the window and goes, I told you to close your curtains.
Oh. Oh,
That's pretty good.
My
That's
goodness.
pretty good. I would do that.
Oh,
I love that man. I love that man.
Beautiful.
That was my rise with my grandma. Rest in peace. Speaking of peeping toms, there's a peeping tom in their neighborhood who only looked through the windows for old women. I guess one of those guys. But
Some people are into that.
my grandma had a BB gun, but made of metal, like the metal ones where it shoots the metal BBs. Not quite a pellet gun, but in between.
Yeah.
And she was telling her neighbor, who's about 10 years older than she was at the time. She was 60, so like her neighbor's 75, whatever. And she was telling her, oh, like, here's this, you can borrow my BB gun, because she saw him in the window. He was looking at her doing things to himself. So she said, just shoot him with the BB gun and call the police. And her neighbor's like, no, I couldn't do that. I couldn't shoot someone. And my grandma goes, it's easy, see? And shoots her right in the leg, point blank.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
With metal BBs, point blank.
Shoots her neighbor in the leg with a BB gun to prove that it's easy.
It's easy. Boom.
Well, okay.
Wow.
What do you
Granny's
mean? It's
gotta
easy.
go.
Watch. Boom. Ah!
I've fallen and I can't get up.
This 75-year-old woman.
Oh, that probably hurt.
Oh
like,
my
no.
gosh.
I guarantee you it lodged in her leg.
Oh, it had
Yeah,
to.
100%.
Oh.
David got shot with a BB gun once, and it went like 3 inches into his right cheek.
Did he have to pop it out?
Not that cheek.
Oh.
Devin and I.
Yeah, he dug it out with a knife.
I would have kept that in there.
So-
Your body will naturally push it out through time. I just put a Band-Aid over it, be like, it's a part of me now.
Right, yeah.
But
Chips
that
and
wasn't even
scars.
point blank. That was like
From ways away.
20 feet-ish away, so...
Those BB guns, man, they can freaking hurt. Man, those are... I had like a little Daisy, one of those little Daisy, just little
Oh, yeah.
BB guns.
Yeah.
And I was shooting at we had like this big wide fence in our old house. And I'd line up, I'd do the normal thing. I'd put we had like an old... I don't know if it was I can't remember if it was a mattress or some kind of sheet, but just a sheet to catch them in case they try to like go through the slats or something.
Yeah.
And then I'd set up, little cans on a little piece of wood, and I'd just, blink, blink. Well, one
Naturally.
day, I was plinking, and it's like blink, blink, blink. Arr! My dog decided to run out. Right as I was hitting one of the bigger cans, it ricocheted out of the can and nailed my dog right in its hind haunches.
Ah.
So she yelled and she goes and hides, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. She
Did
sees
it
me.
lodge, or had it lost enough?
No,
just
it didn't
bounced?
lodge. I mean, it definitely
good.
it broke skin a little bit, but it didn't lodge, luckily. But I felt so bad. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, my poor. I didn't do that anymore after that. I was like, okay, I don't want to kill the dog by accident with a BB. That would be...
I have a story based off of that.
Oh no.
Okay.
This is gonna be a horrible episode.
my,
Childhood trauma part 2.
my neighbor used to live in Reno, Nevada, and he said in the neighborhood there was this really old like Vietnamese couple that it was either a pit bull or a Rottweiler.
Oh boy.
Didn't train it at all, and at night this thing would sneak out and attack people or bark in front of their house. Just literally terrorizing the neighborhood, bark and bark and bark and bark, especially in front of his house. And so
Oh no.
he was at work and he was telling his coworker about this, like, hey, they got this stupid dog. I didn't sleep last night. This couple can't take care of it. It's just barking and barking and barking. And his coworker was like, well, Brian, I have a BB gun you can borrow and just shoot it. The dog will get annoyed and run away. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he gives it to him and he's like, you just got to pump it up to shoot. There you go. So at night, sure enough, the dog's barking and he's sitting there. He's like in the garage and he's like, okay. He's like, pumps it once, twice, 3 times. And he's like, I pumped it until it couldn't pump anymore. It's like, I pumped it up. And he barely opens his garage and the dog's barking. And he shoots and hits the dog. He said the dog flinched but didn't really make a noise and kept barking. And so he's like, oh, that's weird. I must have missed. Does it again and shoots again. Same result. He's like, what the heck? Pumps it all the way again. And he shoots and the dog yelps and runs away. And for the next week, the dog didn't show up. Everyone was like, hey, like the dog's gone. And he tells his coworker, I don't need the BB gun anymore. Like, I shot the dog. And he's like, it's weird. Like, I don't think it's that powerful. He's like, Brian, how many times did you pump it up? And he's like, all the way. And he's like, follow me. And they go out back and he sets up a 2x4, pumps it up all the way. And he's like, how far away were you? He's like, oh, right here. And he's like, watch this. Shoots. BB goes clean through the 2x4. Just all the way through. Leaves out a chip. And he was like, Brian, that dog is dead. He shot it 3 times. So he thinks the BB just went straight through the dog.
You know, this is going to turn into a really horrible episode, but I have another story about a dog. Remember the story that I told forever ago about my friend's dog running out?
Yes, got hit by the...
Well, I have a similar story that I just remembered. So, the same house, there was a little house across the street. The last neighbors that we had before I moved, they were super nice. But the neighbors before them had like one of those little, what are those? Like the little small dog, and they're black. They kind of look like a Yorkie kind of, but they have like the Scottish Terrier, I think is what it was, something like that.
I was like Shih Tzu.
No, it wasn't. It was bigger than a Shih Tzu. It was like just a little, about like that, little normal, smallish dog. Anyway, so this thing was so
I see.
mean for some reason, and it wouldn't chase adults. It would just sit and bark at adults, but kids it would chase. Like, it would actually chase kids, bite them. A couple kids got bit. I don't know how the law enforcement didn't get involved in it. I don't know what the deal was, but one day I see these 3 teenagers and they're in one of those little Dodge Dakota pickup truck. Yeah, that. Well,
okay,
but it was kind of like that.
Okay.
But this dog was mean. Okay. And I see these 3 teenagers, and they're coming up, and they're in one of those Dodge Dakota pickup trucks, like little small pickups. And this thing, I was sitting on my front porch, and I was just kind of sitting back on my swing because I didn't want to move in case it decided to come over to our yard and start nipping at me.
You're like, no sudden movements.
I'm sitting there watching it. I'm sitting there watching, and the truck gets about a quarter of the way down the street, sees it, and it stops in the middle of the road. The dog turns to it, starts barking, starts running at it.
Please tell me they don't. No!
They peel out and they run him over. Right there, right in the middle of the street. They just run him over and speed off. I'm like, I don't think he won. Yeah. So apparently they hated the dog as much as everyone else. They just, yeah. The dog played chicken with the truck and lost.
Oh no!
I don't know how I forgot about that story until now. But
how old were you?
At that point, I would have been probably 10, 11, maybe. The other dog happened when I was like about 14. The one that my friend had.
Terrible.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. So every time and I see a Dodge Dakota. I'm like, why do I not like that truck? Memory unlocked. That's why. I hated the dog. Don't get me wrong. It was a mean dog. It attacked kids and little tiny kids. But whoo.
So, anyways, another time I was paranoid.
Oh wait! Before I have one more roadkill story, just one more. It reminded me before we go paranoia.
I had to put a warning at the start of this video. Be like, sorry, there's a little bit of violence involving animals, so don't call PETA. Don't call.
It's
It's
just
nothing
part
he
of
did.
life. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's a sad
the
part of
story
life.
is something I did. So, the producer and I were going on a drive, and we're driving.
No, I can't get canceled. Not today.
He just.
Be back.
Okay, I gotta hear it now. I'm sucked in. I gotta hear it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You're the producer.
So I have to keep looking. She'll have to remind me of the details. But there was a story she was sharing with me. It's traumatic. How do you just want to tell it? Okay. Do you want to be on camera? Ladies and gentlemen, the producer.
The producer, welcome. Clap track. Don't we have a clap track?
Oh yeah. Sorry, the producer.
We need a clap
Welcome,
track.
Ben's producer.
Nice to finally meet
Yeah. Okay. Story time.
Oh wait,
Ready.
Oh,
sorry.
wait. Hang on, audio was.
Do you want to sit in the chair
okay.
here? You
Yeah,
have to.
okay.
I'll-
I'll take the chair.
Okay, well, Ben's
Okay.
fired. Welcome, new
New lady
Host.
Ben.
Adjust
Here we
these. Okay. Well, when I was younger, we were driving home from school, and the car in front of us slammed on their brakes, and like I was trying to figure out like what happened, and I just see this black cat like jump straight up in the air and then like roll, and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? I think the car like hit the cat, and we got out, and the cat is on the ground like seizing, and I'm like blood and all seizing, and I'm like sobbing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just watched a cat die. Like I've never dealt with death at this point in my life. I cried the whole rest of the day home, and
Aw.
I remember like the whole rest of the day at home, and I was like, Mom, can we please pray that the cat will go to heaven? I was sobbing. Yeah, I still have that frightful image of like in my head for the rest
Childhood
of my life.
trauma.
So-
On this
Part
channel.
part two to this story.
You
She's
got the
telling
thumbs
me
up there.
this as we're driving, and I'm tearing up a little bit. She's tearing up a little bit. It's at night. She finishes the story. No joke. This orange
Yeah.
flash of fur runs in front of our car.
Oh my gosh.
Boom, boom.
And I was like, we just hit a cat! Like,
In our little car, we destroyed this.
I'm like sobbing. I'm like, it's happening all over again.
So we pull up to our apartment, and I get out, and there's blood all over the wheels, and I'm like, I don't tell her. I'm like, I think we missed it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to change
No.
the title of this episode to Roadkill Childhood.
Well,
Trauma.
on the
Yeah,
story
like-
of Roadkill,
Trigger warning here.
Oh man.
I got another one then. Fine.
Go for
So-
it. Might as well. This is the new topic.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Well,
The
nice
producer.
to meet everybody. There's my trauma for you. So,
Thank you for
trauma dump.
sharing.
Okay.
Here's
You're
my
sorry.
husband.
Bye,
Sorry.
sis.
About your
Love to
trauma.
all.
Hey, it actually gave me hearts that time. It actually worked.
I
Wait,
did.
Yeah. This is kind of fun.
All right.
There you go.
So
Yeah, there we go.
we're
Cheerful
coming
fireworks.
down probably the same area that.
Wait, there's another story.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. He has
This is
another one.
probably the same area that Anna's or your producer's story took place. We're coming down the canyon near our house. It's me and one of my buddies later at night, and this cat jumps out of nowhere. Boom, dead. Just quick and easy. The thing was dead. And my buddy was driving, and he pulls over, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" He's got to. Oh, I feel bad. I know what to do, and I'm like, "Okay." So we jump in the car. He's like, "No, I got
Does
this.
he
I
run
know
it
what to
over
do."
again?
I'm like, "What are we doing?" No, he doesn't run it over again. I'm like,
Oh.
"Okay,
Okay.
what are we doing?" So he goes to the nearest grocery store. I'm like, "All right, what are we doing here, man?" He goes, "No, trust me. I'll feel better. Just trust me." Like, okay. goes to the balloon section, buys a get well soon balloon.
No, he does not.
We jump back in the truck, and he drives up the canyon and ties it to the cat's tail.
It's just like the guy in the raccoon.
Oh,
no!
And I'm like, dude, what? And he goes, well, rest in peace, brother. Proper burial. And then we drove off. I'm like, what is your problem?
There's not really much of a story to this one, but apparently there's some animals you definitely do not want to hit because it's gonna destroy your vehicle.
skunks, man.
I think it was my but my mom actually hit a porcupine, like a big one, and it not only did the spine shred the tire, but it actually some of the metal undercarriage of the car they actually punctured through some of it. It was like, what? So apparently, don't hit a porcupine. Their quills are.
I have another. Oh, I was like, I have another animal death story.
All right, I guess we're changing the episode. By the way,
Yeah,
this
I
is
guess
now
it's
animal
not
death.
No, but the comedic / traumatizing.
Can
All
we
right,
just
Dev.
make the title of this paranoia?
Paranoia. Also, there's some animals involved.
You ever sneeze and it hurts your entire
Yes,
body?
dude.
Yeah.
That's what just happened to me. It feels like my arm just got yanked really hard.
You ever fart so hard your back cracks?
What? That's
that
not.
happened before.
That's not real.
No, yeah, I was sitting in my chair, this chair right here, and I was like, ah, whoa.
Oh,
Ben, you're so red now.
I'm dying.
You're welcome.
That thing had a chibi kicking.
sorry, something just dawned on me, Dev. You guys can see the blue outlines on my camera, huh?
Yeah, we can.
Because the manual focus is on, and you weren't getting that before when it was just the camera recording and not through Riverside. So,
I hadn't really paid attention, but yeah. A little bit.
You're gonna have to tell me how to get rid of that later. Sorry, that's just a side note.
Ugh.
Anyways,
Devin's cheeks are 12 gauge. Okay. I think I told.
Like a 20 gauge. It's okay.
Okay. So,
soundboard's great. I love it.
I've told this story before, but we're on the topic. I told you guys the pheasant hunting story.
maybe I remember the cow story.
Have. Yeah, I can't forget the cow story. This is the worst birthday I ever had. But no, I haven't heard the pheasant story, I don't think. No.
Okay. It's just a funny story. We'll do it. So, I was with my friend, and we're up in Tremont, and no, we weren't in Tremont. We were in Malad, and we're pheasant hunting.
Why were you in your lad?
Malad.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay.
Okay,
My
sorry.
lad.
He was a good guy. Anyway.
Well, then fair
So,
enough.
We tried going pheasant hunting, and I couldn't find anything, right? And so we go to a pheasant farm, and my buddy goes to the farm, and he's like, listen, this is his first time, hasn't killed an animal. Can you cut us a deal? He's like, okay, I'll give you 5 pheasants for $20. Live pheasants.
Okay.
It's like, oh, shoot. So we go, I'm with his buddy, and obviously shot a shotgun before I launched my pheasant. Boom. Perfect shot in the back. Because we had him. This is going to sound terrible. Okay.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Terrible so far. What's the
Disclaimer. These pheasants were bred to be hunted. This guy breeds pheasants and releases them on his property, and you hunt them. That's what it was. But we weren't part of the membership, so he just gave us the pheasants. And we had a buddy way off in the field would pick up the pheasant, and he would throw it, and then we would go chase it and hunt it like that.
Oh, I was gonna be like, are you like skeet shooting with it? It's like, oh, whoa.
No.
This image of
Like,
Skeet
what?
shooting the pheasant, and they toss it up, and you... Okay,
No.
that makes it a little better.
Okay, it makes it better.
Okay,
But
okay.
the disclaimer I have to give is they were bred for that. That's what these
Yeah.
are for. Is if
Okay.
they weren't bought out, he was just gonna kill them anyway, shoot them anyway.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
2 of the pheasants actually get away. They break out of their cage, just fly away, and we're all like, "Get him!" Everyone missed. We weren't that good of a shot, but
It's all right.
so my friend, his pheasant, you got in the field, you jump, you spook them, and they fly away. Shoots it and blows the legs off, so it can't really walk around. And he was like, "Oh, this is terrible." And he said, "Hey Ben, come over here." He was a farmer, and he's like, "This is a perfect teaching opportunity." He's like, "So like this, obviously you don't want to shoot at point blank because that'd be terrible." And he's like, "What you do with pheasants, you actually just you can step on their heads and it'll just kill them." And I was like, "What?"
Oh.
And he's like, "Yeah." So he's like, "You just step on the head, it dies, and then there you go." Because he didn't want to swing the neck around because it would have gotten blood anyway.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Just like this," and the pheasant, and he's wearing these boots, and he's like, "You go like this," steps on the head, and it starts flailing and jumps away. And he's like, "This isn't supposed to happen." So he chases the pheasant down. He's stomping on it, and it's not dying. And he's tearing up, and he's like, "Please die, please die." And then he grabs it and starts wringing the neck, and he's like crying. He's like, "It's not supposed to be like this." And then it's, yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's what it was.
Horrible.
And it died, and he was like, "We never speak about this again." And we just stopped.
Just to all of
Have
you.
you told me that story before, Ben?
I think I have. That's what I'm saying.
Sounds
I've
familiar.
never heard this one. Oh,
But
my goodness.
when I say it out loud, it sounds actually terrible. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Terrible,
That's very
but-
terrible. But I'm sitting there
Is
like,
it
"Oh, this is
Dad,
hunting."
that I want an animation of that.
A little bit, but I might be able to do something.
Because
about
I'm
that.
like, because that was my first time actually hunting. I've been skeet shooting and all that, so that was my first time hunting, and he was like,
oh,
yeah.
dude, I had a buddy in high school who was he was a big hunter. He liked to go hunt elk, and like he'd always do the deer hunt every year. And he was telling me that one time, it was him and his dad and his uncle, I think his two brothers. They all went out. They went hunting, and he found a decent looking elk, shot at it, and it ran off. So he's like, "Oh crap, I don't know if I got it." So they're trying to track it. They're following the trail a little bit where it went, because it didn't really veer off course too much. And then they see it standing up, but not really standing up. Like it was kind of standing up. It looked like it was leaning in midair, and they're like, "What the heck?" And it wasn't moving. It wasn't breathing or anything. And somehow, he still doesn't know how it happened. This is just what he told me. But he's like, somehow the thing had been running so fast because it had been shot. It was hurt, so it was running, and it impaled itself right through the head with one of the. You know how sometimes you'll get like those branches that break off into a really sharp point from like the big pines. It ran face first into it, killed it instantly.
Well,
it was
yeah.
it was being held up by the tree trunk. That's why it was like leaning in. So
Well, now that we're on the hunting stories,
I thought of one too.
I might have a. Yeah, I don't remember if I've told this one before, but just in case I haven't. And what's the easiest way to do that?
We might have to make that an exclusive on like I don't
So
know.
I haven't gone go for hunting since. Traumatized.
Not just the men and the women, but the younglings.
Oh, I don't know if we can put that online.
I don't think we're gonna have to make that like an exclusive for the website or for I don't know. We'll have something. I don't know if we can do that on YouTube. Oh my good Taylor, that's horrible.
I thought my pheasant story was bad.
I'm traumatized.
I bet you are. That's
What I'm
horrible.
sorry, the laughing isn't because I think it's funny. The laughing is the horror that I had to go through.
Taylor walks in like Thanos. "I'm sorry, little one."
Pretty much. No. Rephrase that. I'm sorry, little ones.
Wait, how old were you?
This was last
17.
week.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna say it's gonna be so much worse if you were like a little kid too.
Oh no! If I was a little kid, it wouldn't have happened because my dad wasn't a hunter. This is my stepdad I was with.
Oh man, that.
Yeah.
You guys let us know if you would like to hear that story or not, and we'll post it.
This gonna
somewhere.
have the censored the crap out of it.
Yeah, please,
But,
Devin, just and then I had to beep 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 beep, and we're like, oh wow.
If you want to hear the full story, maybe we can post it on Discord or something. I don't know.
We can put it on Discord. Or I don't know. I don't even know if Rumble would let us put. Well, Rumble might let us put that one on. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm traumatized. It didn't even happen to me.
Oh man, the closest thing I had was I caught a catfish, and you're supposed to put a nail through their head when you skin them onto a board.
Yeah.
And so my dad's like, "You got this. Like it's your fish. You decided to keep it." So I get the nail, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry." And first hit, the nail slips, and I cut a groove through its head, just. And it's going like it's flopping around, and I'm like, I'm sorry. And so I'm like trying to get the nail, and I'm shaking so bad that half the kids are smashing the fish. So
I want to throw a disclaimer out here. We're not laughing at the pain of the animals.
No, yes, huge disclaimer.
We're laughing
at ourselves
and the trauma we put ourselves through.
Yeah.
I want to be abundantly clear on that.
Yes.
But,
okay, and obviously I thought the catfish was dead because it had been out of the water for 10 minutes.
Ooh.
Just saying.
I got another hunting one, not nearly as bad as the gophers.
I got a hunting one too after Taylor.
Oh. Okay. So we're out on the mountain to the west of us.
I just think of Taylor. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
It's like he's making wine. He's stomping.
So
grapes.
we're out on the mountains to the west of us.
Did you say stomping grapes?
He's like making wine. He's stomping grapes over there.
Stop! No, it wasn't. It was horrific. It wasn't like stomping grapes for wine at all.
I'm so sorry.
They like squeaked too.
Oh no!
Getting worse and worse by the minute.
I'm done.
I can't tell that story.
No, let me tell the other story, please. This one's not. I don't think this one's worse. I'll leave this to you guys to decide. I don't think it is though. We're out on the mountain to the west of us.
It would have been better if you were listening to Cotton Eye Joe. Okay.
I wasn't listening to anything but the screams of my victims, so.
I'm more like that.
Oh.
Okay.
Anyways, West Mountain.
Yes.
And we're hunting jackrabbits.
Good.
We're hunting jackrabbits because, again, out where we are, they're considered vermin, and they pay you to depopulate a little bit.
It's the ears, right? You got to bring in the ears.
You bring in the ears. No, that's coyotes.
The coyote's the lower jaw. You have to bring in the jaw.
Oh, you're right. But so, I mean, we were just out hunting jackrabbits, and it was fun. I had a 22 and my AR, and David had his AR and a 30-30. Now, any of you who knows about a 30-30,
why did he have a 30-30 hunting jackrabbits?
Well,
just make red mist
because we
or
were
what?
also just shooting that day.
Oh, okay.
So we went out, we shot, we brought all our guns, we were shooting, and then he had the 30-30. But basically, when we were done, we started packing our guns up, and he had a couple shots left in, and it's lever action. They can be kind of hard to pop out with the lever action, right? And so we were just going to, there was a couple targets down there to just shoot, except for that he turns around, and there's a jackrabbit 6 feet away.
No, he does not. He does not.
Boy, it was a magic trick. Now you see me, now you don't. He pulls that trigger and gone. Just gone. Except for it wasn't gone. It was there and there and there and over there
Up there.
Up
This
there.
is the cursed episode.
A little bit on the truck.
Oh, dude. I was going to say 30,
Yeah.
30 for Jack. I'm like, that. He just
It
wanted
wasn't.
to make Red
He
Mist.
didn't bring it for the jackrabbits. He brought it because we were
Oh.
shooting, but we were putting the guns away, and
Oh.
he wanted to. He needed to get the gun
Oh, my.
because you can unload them without shooting it, but it's like it's really tough, right?
Yeah.
And so he's just like, it's 2 shots. He shot one of. He was gonna shoot at the targets that we hadn't picked up yet, but there was a jackrabbit, so he decided to shoot that.
Just a disclaimer: this is back in the day when bullets weren't $70 a shot.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
yeah.
that's true. I was 17 or 18 at that point.
Oh man. Okay, I got to. Okay, one's a jackrabbit story, one's a hunting story. Since we're on jackrabbits,
Paranoia.
paranoia.
I know this switched topics so hard.
I don't even remember whose story it was that flipped. Oh, it was Devin's.
Yeah, the
The small
dog.
dog.
I did it. I'm sorry.
So I was with a leader in my life. I was with them, and he was talking about back in Cub Scouts, he'd go bunny bopping, and it was his favorite thing. And a lot of people didn't know what that was, and he lived up somewhere in the hills of Idaho, but bunny bopping back in the day to control the population. Yeah, okay, you think we're bad. This is back in the day. As Cub Scouts, it was their favorite activity they would do. They would have dogs and people, and they would run rabbits from the mountain into this giant net at the bottom. And all the rabbits would hit the net and freak out when it moved. And he was like, he's saying, as Cub Scouts, they would go out and they had wooden sticks and bats. And they called it bunny bopping because as soon as they hit the net, you jump in that group and just soar on them. And he was, the way he was describing the story is he was like reminiscing on like a really good memory. He's like, and then I grabbed my stick and jumped in there and just 1 and 2 and 3, and we were laughing. And I'm like,
Is this a happy memory for you, sir?
what is happening?
I know that is bunny bashing, but also no, I've never participated and never want to.
That's too much. But second story. This one's a different story.
Oh, I bet it is.
Where my other neighbor, they're pretty big hunters, and his brother had an elk tag, and his lawyer, who's never been hunting before, actually got an elk tag as well. He drew and got it, which is crazy. But he didn't really know his lawyer that well, and I think it was like his brother's lawyer, and he's like, yeah, my brother can take you hunting, and he was hesitant to take his brother's lawyer hunting because this sounds like the start of a joke. It's not. But he's like, no, I don't really know this guy. I don't want to be walking around with a stranger with like a very powerful rifle. But this guy was talking to his brother and saying, oh yeah, I know all about hunting, while they're actually, and it's one of those things, the more the person's talking, the more you realize they have no clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I've done this and this, and at one point they're glassing, and glassing is you're sitting on the mountain. I'm pretty sure you guys know, but you have binoculars and you're looking. It's just called glassing.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I see one. I see an elk. And he pulls out his gun. The lawyer pulls out his gun. He's like, I see one. I see one. And so my neighbor was like, okay. His brother was like, if you see it, make sure you have a shot. Like, he's like, I know. I've been hunting before. I know what to do. And he said, okay, like, take the shot. And he's like, all right. Sets up and shoots. And he's like, I got it. And they go down. And as they turn the corner upon the scene, there's a man standing over his dead horse. And this guy shot the horse with the dude on it. This lawyer. Yeah. In one, man, I don't know how he confused it.
How do you mess that up? How do you mix up a dude on a horse with an elk? Like, how do you mix this up with a guy on a horse?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not even.
That the only similarity is they are close in size. Elk are huge,
Oh yeah, elk are gigantic, but that's it.
but a man on a saddle with all his bags with him, yeah.
No
And
way.
so that dude, I'm kind of fuzzy on the rest of the story, but obviously that guy was absolutely pissed, like
Yeah.
screaming. And good thing he was a lawyer because he
Oh my
paid for the horse and everything. And yeah,
Dude, that ruined both of their days, but especially the poor guy that was riding the poor animal. That sucks,
Oh
dude.
my god.
And
My wife is
the-
not allowed to watch this episode because she loves horses. Like,
Oh.
she's not allowed to watch this one. Woo.
but yeah, can you imagine going on a hunting trip with a stranger who's talking big game, and then
Shoots
court-
a horse.
you could argue attempted murder? I'm pretty sure. Well, okay,
can't get
a
over
kill
that.
shot on a horse would have to be chest to head. That's the closest part to the human. So if you're scoped in on the chest, you would obviously see the guy sitting on the saddle.
Right?
Yeah, he could have shot him. Like, what
Yeah.
are you doing?
Maybe it was attempted murder and he is an assassin, but he had to play it like it wasn't because, well, he missed.
Now
He's
we're
like,
thinking big
"Oops."
brain. Big brain.
Yes, but
Well, I have a very tiny short one. It's not as traumatic.
we all?
This one's more fun. I hate you. Oh my goodness. That was good one. That was like no hesitation on that one.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
the savage one.
it just living up to the title, man. So when I was a kid, I think I was about 9 or 10 when this one happened as well. I had a lot of weird crap happen to me when I was like 10 and 11 for some reason. So I had this nice little bowl, you know, a little tank for a beta. I loved betas when I was a kid for some reason. Don't know
Me
why.
too,
I always
man.
like the bright blue ones and the bright red ones, you know, the really pretty bright colored ones.
Yeah.
And I had this beautiful blue one. Like it was like the definition of a perfect beta fish was this one, okay? And it was great. And one morning during the summer, I woke up and he's just gone. I'm like, where's my beta? 'Cause we didn't have a cat, so
Yeah.
nothing ate it. No birds got in the house. I'm like, where did this beta fish go? So about a month and a half goes by. I've put the bowl away because at this point I've given up on the betas because I had one that had died before it, and then I had this one. It just disappeared. I'm like, apparently I'm not meant to have a beta.
Oh no!
So
I
a
think
month
I
has
know
gone
what's gonna
by.
happen.
I decide to clean my room and
Oh,
change
no.
my bed from against the wall to flip it so it's by the window. I move it and I see this little. It's like this little. It's about this big and it's this little black chunk. I thought it was like charcoal or a piece of wood or something. I was like, "What is that?" I pick it up. I'm looking at it and then I hold it up to the light and a little sheen of blue flashes on it and I can see the gill and like the texture of the fish on the other side. It had somehow flopped out of the glass, across the floor, under my bed, and then fossilized under the bed.
I
made
got
a
a
chip.
quick dead fish story, just real fast.
Yeah.
So-
let's talk about Dennis.
That's what the whole last episode has become, Ben. So we had
Paranoia.
goldfish when I was younger, and each of us had our own goldfish. Keep in mind I was maybe 6, right? So we had this big fish tank, and it went in our room, and we had so there was 6 goldfish, one for each of us, each of the kids. And I was so excited about my goldfish. I wanted to give it all the love, and I loved this goldfish. How do you love animals, guys?
You hold them, pet them.
Yep. So, what did I do every day for like a week straight? Reach into the fish tank, pull my fish out, and pet it. And then put it back in. Not only did I kill my goldfish, I killed everyone's goldfish. Because of all the times I put my grubby child hands in the fish tank.
But hey, man, you're used to killing small things.
No, I wasn't at that point.
It was a precursor.
Oh my gosh! Wait, so it ended up affecting all the fish?
Yeah,
Oh,
because I messed the filter up and got all of the nasties in and around. And, yeah, and 6-year-old kids are not clean. It just aren't.
no.
and I was
little
just
kids are
constantly
always
putting
just-
my hand into that tank all the
Yeah.
time.
The weird thing, as a kid, I would name my fish like superhuman names. Like I had a betta fish named Amy, a goldfish like Stephanie, and all this stuff.
Mitch.
Mitch.
For some reason, Mitch was the coolest name to me from ages like 6 to 12.
Mitch. What a bit. Oh, just kidding.
Guys, I actually thought of a paranoia thing as a kid. We can wrap the episode up where we started.
All right, bring us home, Devin. Bring us home.
And believe it or not, it does not involve any harm to animals whatsoever.
No, time out. Any harm we caused to animals were accident for livelihood. I ate that pheasant, by the way. Yeah.
I never
Mostly.
purposely killed an animal without a reason or just for fun.
Yeah.
So
I think the worst story for that is Devin and the Scottish Terrier thing.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, dude, like that.
but it
that
wasn't
truck-
Devin doing it.
No.
I just watched it happen. I was just, Mom.
Anyways, bring us home with your paranoia story.
So when I was a kid, I had this like little up until I was about like 5 or 6. You guys remember the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like the puppet one from the 50s?
We're about
Yeah.
to watch that today.
Okay, so the snow monster, right? For a
Yeah.
little kid, he's a little scary. You know, the whole movie's a little scary for little kids sometimes. It's it's weird in its own way. It's a
Yeah,
classic,
no,
but it's a
naturally.
little weird.
Yeah.
So I had a terrible fear of this thing, so much that when I was a little kid, like I said, about 5, maybe 6 at the most, I had this irrational fear because lived in Utah, so we're surrounded by mountains everywhere. I had an irrational fear that I was going to walk out of my house down the street and I was going to see his hands and him pop up over the mountainside, over the valley where I lived, and he was going to get me. I was terrified of that freaking thing. So I would just picture, just in my little kid brain, I was like, he's going to come up over the mountain, just.
Dude, I thought Godzilla was real as a kid.
Nah. Well, that's at
I'm
least
sure
kinda
we all
scary.
thought crazy stuff like that was real.
And my sister actually... if we need to end, we'll end it, but...
We can fit another.
I'm going
quick
to
one
tell you, my sister each night would have me give a sacrifice to Godzilla, and he would leave me presents overnight, but I didn't know it was her doing it, and different Godzilla characters. So I would do something for my sister, and then to appease Godzilla, he would write me a handwritten letter. And for one piece of paper, it was like, "Dear Ben, thank you for cleaning your sister's room. Have some candy." And then she would burn the edges of the paper.
to make it look
Genius,
fancy.
bro.
The
That's
day
cute,
she
actually.
told me it was her, I cried.
Oh.
How old
And
were
the
you?
same day they told him a certain someone up in the North Pole wasn't real.
I 4 to 5,
Oh, okay.
around your oldest age.
Okay.
She'd
That
also
was
get
kinda cute.
she'd get a piece of paper and a hanger and scratch it up and be like, "Godzilla's here."
That's funny.
And I would always be like, how can he sneak around the neighborhood? Not that he
So
wrote
big.
or knew English. How did he sneak around the neighborhood?
He's so big. That's funny.
All
That
right.
episode
Well,
sure took a turn. I don't.
yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, though, everybody.
It's PETA's gonna cancel us.
Probably.
Oh.
But before they do, make sure you check out the live streams. Make sure you check out the merch store. We have new merch. We have
we
the
do.
news merch, and we have some of the Distracted Crew, the gaming channel merch. We got more videos coming there. Anything else you guys can think of?
Subscribe.
Unedited, uncut episode is going to be on the website.
No, that will not be unedited or uncut. It will be minorly edited and cut a few times.
I think that one I'll just put up on our website.
No, we have to do that. This episode, we have to do it. Those on the
that
website
was-
need to see Taylor's story.
Oh, that's fine. I'm talking about yesterday, the episode we recorded.
Oh, no. I'm talking
No.
about this episode is going to be unedited, uncut on the website so
we
people
will
can
have
see.
Taylor's story uncut on the website soon, so you guys can see. Because
Yes.
there is no flipping way YouTube's gonna let us do that one.
Yeah, that one might have been a bit much.
Woo, you poor,
I mean,
poor
it traumatized me, so.
Yeah, I could see.
Good for
why.
you. I think I would have left them, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh.
Okay, well, anyways,
On that
bye!
Bye.
Bye, everybody.